Okay, so before I get started, I don't even know where to begin. I found a video of Trudeau. Something told me to open it, do the reverse, so I did that. And right away I knew he was talking to me. And this is only a few days after I started putting my videos up. So there's a few reasons why I think it's me. One of them is on my YouTube profile, it clearly says I'm an artist. And I live in Canada. Second, and I'm not comfortable getting into this, but there's no other way to prove to you that he's talking to me than to tell you a little about how it is I got to where I am. So, my journey started about 4 years ago with ghost hunting. A friend and I would go out ghost hunting, and I thought it was really amazing. I was always catching them talking on recorders, and anyway, obviously you're not supposed to do that, right? And there's a good reason. I had evil spirits, demons, they started hurting me physically, and the only reason why I don't regret that is because right away I turned to Jesus. So I prayed like no one's ever prayed before, I'm sure. And I remember praying to him, asking him to send some big ass spirit guys to come and help me. And he did. The reason why I didn't want to get in is because I know it sounds crazy, but I can see them. I know they're here. They protect me, and they guard me. Where I go, they go. They're amazing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up reluctantly is because in the speech he mentions them. And yeah. So another thing is, I know that there's something about my light. It attracts them. Spirit, I mean. And just don't do it, okay? It's just don't do it. Okay. So first, well, there's another thing I want to tell you. In all the recordings that I've been checking out over the last while, they seem to be different groups involved. Okay, they use different terms. There's nibs, snopes, wheelers, sharps, elves, greys, screw-ups. I'm sure one or two of those is referring to us, but I know that they, whatever they are, okay, whether they're the serpents, reptilians from the Bible, which is more what I believe. You can call them whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you call them. They are what they are. And they fight amongst their groups. There's no doubt about it from what I'm hearing, and I hope to make more videos on it, but it just takes so long to get things ready. That's why this video, just if you can be patient with me, because I don't know how to present it. Anyway, so the first little bit, this is Trudeau's speech. Trudeau's our Prime Minister, for those of you who don't know. And his speech was on September 26th, the UN. Okay, so I'm just going to play it. It won't sound like him because I've played with the speed and everything on the reverse. So I'll just play it out.
Insistence that, well, if we renegotiate NAFTA, if we get to a NAFTA deal, there will be no need to worry about these other things. That has been something that he has said a few times. We are continuing to work on getting to a right deal for Canada, right deal for Canadians, and that involves, obviously, feeling confident about the path forward as we move forward, if we do, on a NAFTA 2.0, and the freer and lack of punitive tariffs that we consider are unjust. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you very much.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Okay, so that's a short clip of the speech there. So I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to play it in reverse, and you're not probably going to hear too much. But I'm going to break it down for you. Replay little clips. They talk in code. That's really important. Like, especially in this one. It was crazy. Words that I never even heard of. You know, I would listen to the sound, write it down. Listen to the sound, write it down, and go, okay, maybe that's a word. And I Google it, and sure enough, after some research, I find it, and it's pretty crazy. So here, I'm just going to play it first.
Svavnet snöjden för fight the red for fight the roshni like knocker with new in this very smash durch fit. Das he it must nips it has get there let's see beer with me or one people right like I just find no stake you fit find yeah sure gonna you fit oh that's necessity
Okay, I told you. It wouldn't sound like much to you right off the bat. So, in the beginning, you'll hear him say, I'm nervous. And someone else says, as long as you don't lose sight. So, I'll just play that. Did you get that? I'll play it again. I wonder if I could slow it down for you. One sec. Too slow. Okay. So right away, he says artist. But he doesn't say my name at first. He says Sajna. Okay, so let me find it here. Sajna is a term. Let me find here. It means sweetheart. Okay, so that's kind of spooky. But he's calling me sweetheart, our artist. Because he's Canadian, apparently, you know. And then he says, and the huge Betha. Let me play it again a few times. One more. Okay, so, and the huge Betha. So I'm like, what the heck is Betha? I found it. Just let me come over here and find it here. Sorry. Betha is the men of her household. So the huge men of her household. There's no men here. They're not talking about people living with skin. They're talking about the ones who take care of me. So there's that. Okay, so I'll play it one more time so you can envision it. Did you get that? Okay, then coming up, he says, spheric with the nushba. You wouldn't think twice about it. You would just normally go over that and think it's just gibberish. I'm going to play it and let you hear it. Okay. Spheric means, let me see if I could go this way. Sorry. Oh, there. Okay. Pertaining to the heavenly bodies, or to their supposed revolving spheres or shells. Heavenly bodies. Exerting influence on humankind and events. So he's saying that, as well as, let me find it, Nishba. Nishba means we will be taking an oath. It's my belief that the ones who are here helping me, Christ asked them to help me, and they made an oath to help me. So, I'll play that again. So fall down, okay. It sounds like fall down. I'm not 100% sure. And then he gets into it again. And this was really hard to figure out, because he says, your faith is, let me see here. Listen. And this is what I think he's saying. Sorry. Typical Canadian. I've said sorry about 10 times. It's all about this cryptocurrency stuff. So I don't know if he's saying my faith is going to cost me. I'm not sure what he's trying to say there. But I believe that to be true. So let's come back here and play it again. So then they start talking about the elf. I know it sounds crazy, but it sounds like he's saying, why an elf? Witness time now, I know your fate. Something like that. So after he says the fate, he says, they're all fume nukes that aerophagia. Strange, I know. So, I found that right here. And I think that whatever they're going to be putting in the nukes, and this isn't the first time I heard fume nukes. I've heard that a few times on different videos that I've made, or that I've heard. So, whatever it is they're putting in there, yeah, it's going to be bad. So you can have a look, pause this and have a look at that. Let's play it again. So now he's talking about our fate. Okay, let me find that again. And now he's saying, screw up button. It is marking a release. I believe that's what he's saying. He'll see vol, suave, and then so let me find that here. And if you really listen, you can hear him say, he'll sieve all. Okay? So, he'll sieve all. So it's like he's going to, the Antichrist, whatever. He's going to separate us. Excuse me. He's going to separate us. And then he says, suaved? And it's a transverse earthquake wave that travels through the interior of the earth. So, this is all kind of predicted in Revelation. But anyway, let's play that again. Did you hear that? He'll see all, suave, and then Okay. Now this is the way this sounds. It sounds like one big, quick, jumbled up mess. But I'm going to walk you through it, okay? Because where the sentence would stop, it doesn't. Because don't forget, he's disguising this, talking forward. So sometimes, I notice they throw in a few or, little syllables or something at the beginning or ending of something to make their forward speech sound properly, right? So here he's saying there's a negative end to our Pharaoh fight. And if you've seen my video on Obama, I think it was my first video, that'll kind of make sense. And the rhythm sacrifice. I searched and searched and searched. And then I finally found I know it looks stupid. Don't forget they talk in code. So the rhythm sacrifice, one of the few scorpions in the game. They often talk about things in games, even Dungeon and Dragon card things, and that's how they talk secretly in code, okay? So when he says the rhythm sacrifice, scorpion, they arose, they don't use the right word here, but they arosing it. Then he talks about egg knockers. Now, I have no idea what the egg knocker was. So I searched and I couldn't believe it. But with this sacrifice there, and as it says in the Bible, the scorpion tail. So they're making reference to that. And egg knocker. I know it sounds stupid. It's from a game. A stupid online game. But they're referring to it, and it's little germs. So I think that's part of what's going to be in the nukes and the viruses that I believe that they're going to be spreading on us. I know it sounds crazy, but they do. They talk in code. So let me play that again. So that's where he's saying he'll save all, and that's true. That he's gonna, people who believe in God and Jesus, we're toast. And I'm okay with that. But this is what he's saying. He's going to go through and in reverse, right? He's going to take out the wheat. So he says that there. And then, so now he's going to get into this jumbled mess. I know. In the beginning, he says, negative end to your pharaoh fight. The rhythm sacrifice, which is the scorpion, they're erosing it. Obviously, he means it's going to rise. So, let me play that again. And the egg knockers. And then all that gibberish after, I've spent 4 days trying to figure out what he's saying. And I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not even going to put it on here. So let's replay that again. So now he's talking about nibs. Nibs is one of the group that I was explaining to you at the beginning of the video. The Nibs, Snopes, Wheelers, Sharps, Elves, Graves. So Nibs, of course, I went online, and a mock title used to refer to a self-important man, especially one in authority. Okay, so that's what he's saying there. Here's where he's talking to me. Again. Nibs are asking if their something bearer would mean year one, you were right light. And there they are talking about my light. So, let's see. Hold on. Okay, right before that, though, he says, nurse the heathen we must. Somewhere in here. You could barely hear it. Now he talks about the nibs, and they're talking about me and my light. Now I'll play it one more time. Now he's talking about He says eyes that find no stagla. Again, I'm not hip with things that are online and what have you, so I had to look up stagla, and stagla is, if I can find it, and there's the pharaoh. I don't have it there. Anyway, it's a gas station or something. It has to do with the Resident Evil game. So this is where he says eyes that find no stagla. Does he mean the evil? Don't forget, I can see, right?
Eyes that find no stagla. You find it should renew.
Your faith, find it, should renew.
Eyes that find no stagla. You find it should renew. You feel that's necessity.
You're free of, that's necessita. And actually, that word Obama said too, and it means necessary or needed. So let me play that again.
Eyes that find no stagla. You find it should renew. You feel that's necessity.
So, that's pretty much what I have of that part. I guess I consider myself warned. I'll play it one more time. And so kind of keep in mind how he is clearly talking to me.
Cinema whistle. We're on the same. It's not listen to you that sfärt för det ryska fallen. As my earlier feed I this night I know we just find out and you fit the roll for me side the roll fast but but net fucking least you'll see what swaven and sneden for fight the resident for fight the roasting it knocker with new in this curry smash which fit that's he and it must nibs it has get the lassie beer with me or one you will read like I just find no stake you find it sure and you feel that's necessity
So there we go. Now I'll try and put the words on so you can kind of read along as you see this video. So I'm not crazy. I'm just putting that out there. They're warning me. So if you're so inclined, if you can pray for my safety. Thanks.